Hi friends, Mindy here. I am going to be covering this Bible. This is the pocket journaling Bible kit that you can get from Bythewell4God. I will put my affiliate link down below. I'm just going to pull everything out of the package here so you can kind of see what you get. So you get the little pocket Bible. You get 36 journaling cards. You get 4 sticker sheets in 2 different designs, 2 each of each design. You also get all the fabric that you need to cover the Bible. You can kind of see the size of it here. And then you get some end papers and also some extra fabric so that you can really just kind of decorate it however you want. I have the coffee themed version here. There are several other colorways that they have available. There's even one that's going to be coming out with a new kit with the new fabrics. So this is a great way if you are new to Bible journaling or just getting started or just kind of want to work in a different way. Especially if you're new, working on a smaller space can be kind of less intimidating and also kind of give you an idea. If you don't like working in your Bible or whatever, it's just a good option. I'm creating this book for a friend to give some encouragement to her. So I'm going to be writing out some scriptures and some prayers and sending that along to her. But what you see me doing now, I have picked out the pink fabric with the coffee cups on it, and I'm just kind of breaking the spine just a little bit to make this covering of it a little bit easier, and also to make sure that my fabric doesn't get like too tight around it. So I have some clips over here. You could use paper clips, you could use binder clips, whatever. I'm just kind of arranging the Bible on this piece of fabric, just kind of centering it on there. And then I'm holding it in place on the cover with this one clip. And I am going to use this Cocoina glue stick. This is what Bythewell4God recommends. This is it's a starched base adhesive, so it's really soft. It's not like a Yoo-Hoo glue stick or an Elmer's glue stick that's kind of hard. This is kind of a creamy glue stick. It's more like a paste, but in a tube, basically. And so I'm just covering the back side, and you have a few seconds, to kind of move it around. So just smooth that down, and then now I'm going to move to the spine section. I'm just making sure to cover this the whole spine and just cover everything really well with a good coat. You don't want to get too thick with the glue because it can seep through the fabric if you get, too much of it. So just a good even coat is really what you want. And I'm just pressing that down into the spine and now moving around to the front. I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm just going to cover it. And I have done this before on my channel, so I will try to link the other videos if you want to see those as well. But again, I just chose this coffee theme. My friend that I'm sending this to loves coffee, so this is just going to be perfect for her. And I thought about doing, I want to do a closure for it because I know these can kind of get a little bit bulky. So I pulled out some Sari silk here, but I am not sure which one I'm going to go with. I have like a cream color and a pink. And now I'm just kind of picking a fabric to go around the outside, just kind of an accent. This is not necessary at all, or you could even embellish it more. I'm just going to be choosing this one little fabric with the coffee beans on it, and I'm just going to use this to kind of give a little bit of accent around the spine. So I'm just taking my scissors and trimming down a section the size that I want, and then I made sure that the ends were kind of frayed. I just wanted it to look like that. So I'm back with this Cocoina glue, and I'm just applying that. I have it here on the front, trying to get this as straight as possible. And you do have a few seconds to work with this, but then again, I'm just going around the spine and onto the back. And I had to kind of pull it up and put it back down again, but you do have a few seconds to do that. It doesn't dry immediately. So then I'm just making sure everything is pushed down really good. And so now when I go to wrap these covers, I want to make sure I'm just cutting off some of this extra fabric from the corners. Otherwise it can get really bulky. And then I also need to do this around the text block. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pair of smaller scissors here, and I'm going to cut little V's in this fabric, kind of at the beginning, at like the front and the back of the text block. And that is going to allow me to be able to wrap the fabric neatly onto the cover, and then I will be able to tuck some down into the spine as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm here on the back side now, and I'm just applying the glue along there, and I'm doing the long edge of the Bible. And now I'm going to move to the top. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm applying the glue, and then I'm going to wrap this over. And then where the corners meet, I'm just kind of, I'm going to put a little bit of extra glue there, and I'm just going to kind of pleat this or press this around so that I get a nice cover. Because the corners are rounded, if you want to get a nice coverage there, you kind of just have to pleat it around just a little bit. Just kind of work with it until it's nice and smooth around that round corner. Otherwise, you could miter it if it were square, but you just kind of have to work with it just a little bit. So you might need a little bit of extra glue. You can see I just put some extra down, and then just kind of fiddling with the fabric. And, it doesn't necessarily matter how this looks exactly because we're going to be covering most of this up, but just to keep the bulk down. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some clips just on that really bulky part where the fabric is kind of folded in on itself. And then now I'm just gluing down those sections where that extra fabric with the coffee beans was. So now I need to tuck the spine sections in, and I left this part in. I tried to put a little bit of glue, and I thought I would be able to just tuck this fabric in, but it was kind of stuck. There was a little bit of glue. The text block was kind of like half glued to the spine piece, and usually when you pull back the spine, the spine will actually kind of arc a little bit, and you can it pulls away from the text block, but for whatever reason there was just some extra glue. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking my X-Acto knife and kind of running it very carefully along there. This isn't going to hurt the text block or anything. I'm just kind of releasing it away from the cover. That way it'll just give me the room that I need. And then I applied my adhesive, and I'm just using my very fancy paper clip here to kind of help get this fabric down in the spine. It helps if you kind of hold the spine open or the cover open. It makes it so that you have a bigger space to work with. And then just tucking that second layer of fabric in as well. And then I'll do that to the bottom side also. And then I just needed to add a couple extra clips here while this cover is drying. And then that has the fabric around the back and the spine. And then I'll just go ahead and do the same thing to the front cover. And now I'm just moving some of these little clips around. I get asked a lot about these clips. I got them at my local grocery store, but any kind of clip would work. So now I'm going to move on to the end papers. These also come in the kit. I'm just folding them in half. I find this much easier if you fold them ahead of time. And all the directions and the steps for this are on that card. You can kind of see up in the top left-hand corner. It comes in the kit, all the directions for how to do this. So I'm just using my bone folder to get a really good crease on these, because these end papers are pretty thick. They're pretty sturdy. So the way that I like to do this, the way I find it easiest anyway, is to start with the paper side, not the cover side. That way I can make sure that I am getting these two pieces to line up perfectly, because for me, if this wasn't lined up, it would kind of make me crazy. So I'm just going in with some glue here on this end paper, and just covering it completely. And then I'm going to take the end paper and line it up. And I'm just making sure that on the three edges, everything lines up. It's not hanging over the edge or whatever. And I'm just going to rub that, press that down really good to make sure it's nice and adhered. And then from here, I'm going to now add glue to the other side of this end paper. Not on the cover side, but on this actual end paper. And I ran out of glue there, so I had to get another glue stick. One glue stick will do several Bibles for you. I think I did 2 or 3 with that other glue stick. So anyway, now I just sort of tuck that down into the into kind of the gutter, and then wrapped it around and just closed the cover down on top of it. And that just is going to make sure that it is perfectly positioned and lined up, and your cover's still going to open and close the way that it should and everything. So at this point, I still want to make sure that these corners are nice and adhered. So I'm going to go back in just on these corner sections until this glue is really set, and put those little clips. So I went ahead and did the same thing on the back, and I'm just putting some clips here, a few extras where it was just felt like it needed some extra love there. And then I will let this dry. So I have this Sari silk like I was showing you earlier, and I think I decided to use the cream. You could, if you wanted to, put this underneath that fabric, like especially that extra fabric with the coffee beans, but it was just, this particular fabric is kind of bulky, and so I didn't want there to be a lump, and I figured this way, if the person that I'm sending it to, if she doesn't like the cup, this part of it, she can just leave it off. She doesn't have to fiddle with it if she doesn't want it. So just kind of wanted to leave some options there. And then, so I just cut that down to size. And then now I still feel like I want to decorate the cover just a little bit. So what I did is I went through my stash of things, and I found I have this little wood veneer coffee cup that's got a little heart shape cut out of the top. And so I'm going to use some Fabri-Tac glue, and then I took one of the other fabrics that was in the kit and I just tore it down just a little bit, and I'm applying the glue to the wood veneer piece, and I'm doing it to the fabric first. And the reason I'm doing that is because this Fabri-Tac glue can leak through the fabric really bad, and it can stain it. So I wanted to make sure that when I adhere this to my Bible, I'm only putting glue where that wood veneer piece is. It's a really strong glue. It's going to hold everything, but I just want to make sure that I don't have glue kind of where I don't want it, just because I don't want it to seep through. So I'm just making sure that that is good and adhered, and I'm going to add my glue here where this coffee cup is, and then I'm going to glue this whole piece down to the cover. And that will be it. I'm going to wrap it back up with the Sari silk here, and that's it. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. If you like this video, I would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. That just helps other people find my channel. And subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, bye-bye.